Saotome sensei describes biofeedback as an important concept for understanding the higher aspects of Aikido. This video presents two principles to help explore biofeedback: opposition reflex and dynamic overcorrection. Opposition reflex is the instinctual reaction of any animal that feels threatened to actively resist any physical force. In a physical confrontation, this means an opponent will instinctively push against any pushing force, pull against any pull, and in general stubbornly do the opposite of whatever their opponent is trying to accomplish. The Saotome sensei says, your opponent will never obey you. Dynamic overcorrection is the result when an opponent tries to oppose a quickly changing force. Especially in a conflict situation, it is exceptionally hard to create just the exact amount of resistance needed to counter an opponent through opposition reflex. By default, our muscles tend to overcompensate and overestimate the force needed. Essentially, we're all innately wired to over-resist, and as a result usually overcorrect or overshoot our target. This natural response is the basis of Saotome sensei's biofeedback concept.
Let's try this feeling. I try to slide in, he doesn't let. I try to slide in, the other side doesn't let. I try to slide in, push a little, he doesn't let. I try to slide in, pulse. It's very hard for him not to let. But the idea is that once we touch, if he wants a center line, if I push a little, it's very hard not to overcorrect. So if I push a little, I can gain the center line. If I push a little and wait until he fixes it, it doesn't do me any good. If I push, he fixes, it gives me no good. But if I push and fill it up, I can use this opposition reflex between overcorrection and the scene on the other side. Pulse, and just go right up the center. Later on, perhaps,
Saotome sensei has created a series of weapons kata for the bokken and jo that he calls the kasumi no kata, which translates as foggy sword kata or mist sword kata. These kata call out a dynamic overcorrection from a blocking uke through an implied strike from nage. Nage generates the attack that calls out a response from the defender, but the attack never actually connects. Instead, uke is led into an overcorrection, which nage takes advantage of. Of course, if uke doesn't believe that nage's attack is authentic, they instinctually won't respond the way nage desires. The timing must be perfect, and the energy must be real. This is just one of the kasumi no kata, but it demonstrates the biofeedback principle well.
He's feeling that power. Other side. He feels that energy. Pause. And it fades through. I am underneath my sword when that happens. There you go. Just for safety's sake, up, watershed, come around and behind. Wow, he's going to believe that energy. He's going to whoa. Okay, so maybe I'll pulse. Or third version of this. He feels where it's going.
We can generate an overcorrection from our partner in open hand, just as we did with the sword. Similar to kumitachi, we can use either an implied strike that calls out a block or a short pulse through physical contact that causes uke to try to push back against.
So here, same thing. If he can, he would love to still be able to stir. He can have a lot of power. This might be a roundhouse punch, right? It could be a roundhouse. Boom. That still might be a perfectly good situation for him. I did block, right? But I still took it to the job. Right? So I have to treat that as if it's a lot of power and he's got a lot of force. I have to show him that I can deal with this. Here with a nice expanding extension block. And maybe when I get there, extension block. He still is feeling like he could get my sensei. But if he doesn't believe it, this is what it looks like. But if he believes it, it's his attack. But I'm going to, every now and then, you let him feel that energy. Every now and then, pulse.
Ikkyo is the most basic Aikido technique, and one of the best techniques to explore biofeedback and dynamic overcorrection. It's actually easy for uke to resist letting any nage rotate and lift their elbow, especially if they know the technique is coming. But instead of trying to force uke into the Ikkyo position, nage can practice applying force in the opposite direction and letting uke resist in the direction nage really wants to go. This idea can work with any technique in any direction. Saotome sensei encouraged us to discover how to get uke to instinctually create the technique we want, instead of trying to force them into a shape they are trying to resist or overcoming them with overwhelming force.
I didn't lift her up. There. Yeah,
Given enough time, an opponent will eventually fix their overcorrection and restabilize. However, if we add force to their overcorrection and let them try to overcorrect again and again, each adjustment they make can make them more off balance and more overcorrected. By adding to uke's overcorrection, nage can amplify each of uke's reactions, making them larger and larger until uke loses balance. It's like a top that starts spinning and then slowing down, with each wobble getting larger and larger until the top crashes. At almost every one of his seminars, Saotome sensei demonstrates generating kuzushi, off-balancing, against one or more partners using some version of this biofeedback exercise. If you found this video useful, please subscribe and check out our other videos on ukemi, randori, and new ways to learn and explore Aikido skills. We love it when people share and post comments, and if you use any of the ideas that we've developed, we'd appreciate a link or citation back to our video. Train safe.